Hello, everyone. How's it going? Let me just set something real quick. 1 second. Welcome into the chat if anyone's around. Cool. But we're gonna be playing some Terra today. So, I don't know if you all were familiar with the calling. I think it was calling Shanghai. Am I remembering that correctly? But apparently there was a first seed Terra. So I think this was hold on. Sorry, what's his name? It was Matthew something. I'm immediately forgetting. Hold on, I have this in the title for some reason. Uh, sorry, this is. Hold on, where is it? Matthew Clark. Sorry. Okay, lots of last names here. But anyways, we're gonna be trying to play his list today, so I'm just gonna be playing only his list. I have some thoughts on how the list can maybe be improved, since I think a lot of this was actually kind of based off of my San Diego list, which is actually kind of funny. But yeah, let's kind of quickly talk about the matchups real quick. So I basically copied these from Discord where we posted them. So basically, Oldhim, W. Ira can be a little bit of a troublesome matchup, but looks like we're basically three for four, which is pretty good. And then looks like for KO, 3 KOs in a row seems pretty good. And then Valdo like 50-50, Briar, Win, Kano L. So like overall, I think like actually like a pretty good spread for Terra. Like nothing too bad except for like the one of Kano. No stack Florian also is like a very big deal. So overall, I think pretty good like spread to play Terra into. Like not too bad. But I kind of want to talk quickly about some of the card choices here. So for reference, I think I posted this list a while back in Purple Discord, which was like pretty similar to actually like what he ended up running. I think like the blue base was like a little lighter. Like I think in his list he's like including like blue turn timber over I think blue staunch, and then he also is running the thunk for the extra like might generation, which I think is like pretty reasonable. So going like 22 blues as opposed to like 20, which is pretty good. But then also kind of running just like some spice. So this list I think I was like pretty light on just like attacks in general. So I was just running boulder drop and renounce. But for his list, I think he's actually running a lot more attacks. So he's running like Find All, Spying Spirit, as well as Concuss, which I mean also makes it so that the blue base is I think a little bit better as well. But overall, I think a really solid list. One combo in this list that's also really cool is like Rootbound Carapace plus Turn Timber, so you can like basically like set this up in Arsenal and then like use that to fuse Turn Timber, which is pretty sick. And then the sits are also very spicy. So if you're expecting a lot of KO in your meta, sit is a pretty good card. Just being a 5 block for brute attacks is pretty reasonable. But yeah, I think I'd probably run something like very similar to this list. I don't really have a ton of notes. Like composition wise, feels very solid. But definitely maybe some room to improve like some of the more kind of troublesome matchups right now. Like maybe like the Valda matchup or something is a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I wanted to kind of just play this list today, kind of see how it goes, and then we'll see if we can actually maybe find any other potential improvements. But I think like this list is actually like very solid. Probably like pretty similar to what I would run if I was doing a Sage event any time in the future. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull up some games. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this list is pretty sweet. Again, not like too different from like anything else we're doing, but the concusses are pretty spicy, and the pummels are I think are also quite solid. All right, we got a Briar, so this should be a nice easy one. I generally still like going second to Briar. Let's run the Enclosed Fire Mine just for arcane damage. And I don't also mind Staunch into Briar. There any like 2 blocks we can cut? I think like a Find Alls, to be honest. Find Alls for Staunch, I feel like it seems fair. I also got like Concuss if we wanted to. Now let's run like this. Again, this is more so how I would board. I don't know exactly how Matt would board, but not too hard to play against this matchup, I'd say. Right. It's gonna do a nice little like chill, kind of relaxing stream today. I feel like Sage is always pretty relaxing. Oh, it looks like they're on like Big Briar. Okay, so that is important to note. So let's go ahead and just block with our clash cards though. So for this one, I think we are going to have to play a bit more towards fatigue. But for what it's worth, I don't think like this version of Briar is like particularly good. It's just like a little bit annoying to kind of hedge against. see if I also have like a way to pop out chat at the same time. Second. I refresh this. Does that go here? I figure out how to pull up chat on my computer. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and make our mites, which will set up the concuss for next turn, which is pretty sweet. And then we do have to be a little bit cautious about not wasting too many cards here. Like, I almost am like halfway tempted to like not even send this concuss here and just start sending Titan's Fist every turn. Like, that's kind of typically how you fight through the immovables. We'll do like 5 here until like make a mite in the back. Find like a random opportunity to probably play out the concuss. We should, for what it's worth, still be able to fatigue this. You just have to play a little bit more careful. Make or might. We're already kind of doing not too bad, to be fair. Here, I think we're also just going to be... This is going to be just a Swing Titan's Fist matchup, I think. I'm going to try to pitch stack the Macho for later in the game. I think Rootbound's also like pretty solid in the late game as well. Oh, I also need to set up the hold on, the card thing's broken. Give me 1 second. Need to do that real quick. So card, is it this one? This one. Make this any bigger. Oh boy, all kind of messed up. Give me 1 second. Oh no. Okay. I don't know which portion of the screen this is, but we're gonna find out together. Let's see. All right, that's gonna stay there for now. Expand this and see where we're at on the screen. Oh, that's like the stream chat. Hold on, it's got like the wrong window entirely. A card. Okay, we'll figure it out maybe next round. Let's do that there. And like delete it. Maybe if I like switch it, that'll work. There we go. Okay. Don't know what happened here. All right, we got upside down things happening. I think that's almost what I wanted. We'll mess with you in a second. Evergreen. Okay, we got the Staunch. Turn Timber, we probably want to pitch stack. What do I do against this? Probably Staunch it. Fine. Again, since they're on immovables, I'm like kind of heavily disincentivized from sending this. I guess setting up the Turn Timber is like pretty reasonable though. But I imagine this is probably like never connecting. Set that. That there. Almost got it working. Alright, pass here. And there's some. Oh, that's actually a pretty good removal for us, so not complaining too much about that. Always nice when your opponent is not sending any damage at you. Seems good. Right, let's go. I'm gonna actually just like overpitch the fruits here. Let's try to figure out how to get this boulder screen. It's like flipped in a. I like do this. Does this work? All right, give it home. Seeing me try to mess with OBS in real time. Okay, it's still backwards. Fantastic. Well, that can be a backwards for now. Unlucky OBS RNG. All right, that should be. Now let me see. Flip, transform, flip, horizontal. Almost there. Okay, There we go. I think I fixed it. I don't know if that's readable. Let's do, so we don't have our Earth, so we can't do that yet. I'm not in love with a ton of my options here, but this is probably fine. There are a couple cards up on us. Still not too much cause for concern. Okay, found some Earth, that's nice. Alright, Arcane Seeds is at least one of the ways that, you know, we can kind of make up for some of that deck damage. So let's go ahead and AB this. Let's AB with the Canopy so we can set that up in the late game. Because the Might tokens get better the longer the games goes on, just because of the D-reacts and stuff. And extra one here. I think my plan is to just block here, and then take one, and then just keep pitching the Titan's Fist. I feel like that's how I normally kind of beat this deck, is just pitching to Titan's Fist every single turn. Kind of boring, but gets the job done. So yeah, this is how we basically get them to not get value on their unmovables, which they should have a bunch in the deck. Right, and we can also go ahead and pay into the AB here, which is nice. But that's also a good thing to know, is that they're on Sigil as well. Alright, this seems like a good opportunity to go ahead and just use our turn timber. Oh, are they going to fuse this? Or, sorry, decompose this? It seems like it. Seems pretty good. So how punished do we get if we use our civic steps here? I feel like the answer is like not a ton. Because like, what do? They swing Reaping Blade, or they send an attack that they would have sent anyways. It's like only if they specifically have like a 2-cost attack here, which do they even have 2-cost attack? I think it might just be all like 3 costs. So let's go ahead and do this. Plus, it also turns on our Renounce if they decide to just like pass with it. Which is kind of funny. But getting some nice value here, and then we can also set the Root Bound in Arsenal, which is nice. Okay, so we shouldn't be getting punished unless this is like some random 0-cost attack, but I don't even think they run that. So let's go ahead and just take 3 here. Also, like, gets us a little bit lower in case we end up wanting to play out like a Fruits or something. Alright, so I am gonna Renounce here. Now the question is whether or not I want to put this Root Bound in Arsenal just yet. They have any Earth in the bin. I almost just want to pitch this to make a Might, just because it's like guaranteed deck damage. Guaranteed deck damage is pretty good. Let's go ahead and make our Might token. So off to a pretty good start. Yeah, I think we're now ahead on deck, which is good. Let's go ahead and just pay for the AB here. We could get a little bit of damage push, but I don't really care too much. Like, I think I'm even maybe just giving like a bit of equipment here just so we can set the turn timber. I think that seems reasonable. Plus, I'd like to deny them the embodiments for it when possible. Makes their life a little bit harder. They shouldn't be able to really punish us for the Vigor too hard. Unless they have something like weird here. Okay, do we want to take any damage off of the Sigil of Suffering? I think that's fine. This deck is like so slow that I'm kind of okay just doing this. Just to kind of stave off the fatigue. Even if it's like damage inefficient, it seems kind of worthwhile. And let's go ahead and pitch here just in case they have any more arcane. They're really not fatiguing us all that well, which is the nice part. We're up currently like, so they have one, two, like 3 cards or something. Maybe even a couple more if you want to count the Titans swing. So we're up on cards, and we're also up on tempo and life, which is always a good spot to be. And it's also the last Sigil of Suffering, so we don't really have to like hold one floating anymore if we don't want to. The only thing that's like really scary is if they manage to chain together like a wide turn, but I kind of doubt that. There's Trot, I guess. Trot's gonna just burn a bunch of resources. Interesting. So we actually have another scenario where the Civic Steps could be pretty useful here. It seems like a pretty safe Civics. And we also get our first little piece of Earth in the yard for the Root Bounce, which I think we stacked. Okay, cool. And they're not able to use the Quicken as well, which is nice. What do we want to do here? I think we can afford to take a little bit of damage. We'll let them have the 1 embodiment, but I think that's kind of fine. Again, I'm just trying to do the maximum to just like maximize our deck as much as possible. Even if it means taking lines that aren't super efficient. Just because now we're like currently winning on deck, which is pretty valuable. Like, I think this strategy is kind of interesting where you're like trying to get your opponent to think you're like a different version of Briar and you're actually playing like this version of Briar, but like this version of Briar is just like kind of bad. I think I've been saying this every time I like pair into this kind of Briar, but it's not very good. It's the only issue. What do I want to do here? Get root bound, but I don't really feel like we need to. It's going to just like block with a Thunderquake and pitch our other Macho again. And they still have the unmovables, which are going to get really awkward real quick here. And I think we will set this root bound now. There's theirs, sure. Is that their last root bound? Or they are, yes, that is their last root bound. So they're pretty quickly running out of reacts here. I think they just have the immovables left. I guess they also have the evergreens for what it's worth. I think they have that like all red hand coming up at some point. But this should be fine. So is there a way that we can make Earth on both of our turns? So we do pitch the fruit. Yeah, we can do everything here basically. So like we should be able to still beat the evergreens, which I did kind of forget about, but like I don't think they matter all that much. They shouldn't matter. We get to make our might, and then we get to just send 5 every turn. Nice and relaxing stream, just swinging Titan's Fist. Alright, make our might every turn. So we still do have to worry about the evergreens like a little bit, but like, I'm not that worried. What do we want to do here? We could even just give them a vigor because they're probably pretty close to being out of go again. And is our root bound live? It is currently not. Does that change our play? Maybe. Maybe we'll just give like the Blade Beckoner here and then bound. No, that also isn't. That isn't efficient. I think it's still just Titan's Fist, but we're just gonna pitch the root bound to it. I will go ahead and deny the embodiment just in case it matters. Might not though. So is this like the scam Briar that people are talking about? I feel like that version of Briar is like a more aggro version of Briar. Let me look at like the top 8 and see like what those lists were looking like. I'm curious. Because I remember it being like a lot more aggro with like Harness Lightning and stuff like that. Let's see. Products, heroes, article. Where is it? Deck lists? Events, deck lists. Okay. We'll look at that after the game, I guess. We're still doing fine here, though. In a pretty comfortable spot, I'd say, at least on terms of deck. Like, we're still a little bit worried about the evergreens, but, like, not that worried. All right, and there's our pitch deck turn timber. Could also just send a Macho. Oh, well, they do still have the immovables left in the deck, so we shouldn't Macho just yet. I think let's go ahead and just turn Timber this. Seems reasonable. And we can just keep pitching. Just keep pitching. The blue turn Timbers actually do like quite a bit in this deck. Like if you combo them with the root bounds, they make a lot more sense, it feels like. I feel like that was kind of like maybe the piece I was missing. Because I think I tried playing like blue turn Timber and root bound kind of in a similar slot, at least in my brain. Right, there's movable, that's perfect. Go ahead and save that Macho for when we run out of unmovables, and then we should be getting pretty close here. We could discard a fruits to turn on, or I guess we actually, sorry, do we have Decompose? Yeah, we have the Autumn's Touch now. So we can play the root bound if we want now. Which seems pretty good. And then we can send like Glacial. But they do still have the red unmovable, so sending the Glacial is like less appealing. Interesting. Kind of an interesting choice here. You can also just give them the embodiments and disable, but then that's like a similar problem. Not sure what I want to do here. It's like kind of worth thinking about, but also not really. I think I'm just going to stick to my game plan here. I don't even think we need the blue Evergreen here. I think I'm just going to Titan Twist every turn. No real reason to send like an actual attack because they'll give me unmovable even probably on just a Titan's Fist swing. So no real reason to like waste the resources and we could just block with them. Could alternately send 9, but like if we're assuming that they're arsenaling the unmovable, then it gets awkward. I don't know. Assuming that they are another red unmovable, which we haven't seen yet. Still pretty comfortably ahead here, though. And so this is our last root bound. Still have one coming up, right? So we might as well just like go ahead and throw this in the yard and then just send Macho. Actually, Macho is not even yet because they still have that red immovable. I guess they could be arsenaling the Evergreen, though. Stuff to think about here. We might just send the Macho just to make them have, because they might also arsenal the Evergreen. Sure, I've convinced myself that maybe it's fine. If they do have the red immovable here, then it's unfortunate, but they should be arsenaling the Evergreens at this point, I feel like. Yeah, so this should be from hand. Makes sense. Good to me. So that's the last red immovable, and then their deck should be mostly crap, besides the Evergreens at this point. Let's go and block. We even need a block here. Arsenal like a Findals or something. Don't think it matters too much. We could also just like root bound this. Root bound this is fine, I think. Kind of interesting. So they should be, hopefully, what they want to be doing at this point is just chaining the Evergreens together. Now the question is, like, do I want to just keep Titan's Fisting, or do I actually want to send, like, one more point of damage? I think I'm going to just set this in Arsenal is probably the plan. If you might actually never play it, though, so maybe we just want to, like, hold it. That's also a possibility. Let's just hold it. That's better. Alright, more Evergreens, more problems. I believe they can now just kill with Macho. I don't think they have anything left. Oh, they have one root bound? No, they used the root bound. I think they cannot block this, I believe. If my intuition is correct. And also my ability to track their pitch stack, which I have not been doing. But we're still pretty comfortable here, I think, even if this doesn't kill for some reason. Because they can block 4 max, right? Hypothetically. Unless they have something, like some kind of react or something. Okay, cool. We figured it out. Again, like, I think this is, like, a bit of an interesting deck, because your opponent's not going to expect it. They're going to expect, like, the other variant of Briar, but you will still just, like, lose to Titan's Fist is the I guess, the funny note on that one. All right, let's go ahead and grab. So let me actually take the opportunity to go ahead and see if I can fix this card on the screen. Give me 1 second. Forgot to do this before the stream. All right, so I do make that a little bit tighter. There we go. It's looking pretty good. I feel like it's important to have this card on the screen because it does, like, for people who like don't know the cards, I feel like it's pretty useful to just like know what it is. Like I do it mostly for people who kind of like newer to Fab in general. So I feel like it's valuable, but I feel like it's also nice because like sometimes you forget what a card says or whatever. I think there. Yeah, that's looking better. Nope, not quite. There we go. All right, that's looking better. Cool. All right, let's get another one. I think this deck is like real good. I have like no real notes on this deck. I feel like it just feels like very solid, very clean. All right, is this the same Briar opponent as before? I'm on streamer mode, so I don't actually have that knowledge. Let's go second though. I think second is still generally correct. If it is the same Briar, I might just okay. It might have been the same Briar based on them leaving, but that's okay. Yeah, Briar typically struggles into Terra. Is kind of funny. All right, we got the ultim. We won the die roll, so we win the game. And I guess we can also bring in the Futching. Oh, sorry. Can't select both there. All right, let's do the Foothold. Staunches are good. I like a one of Pummel and ultim. I like the Fyendals are like kind of. Actually, maybe we do like the Fyendal, cut the Fyendals, bring in like a Pummel, and then maybe cut like a Battlefront. Seems like kind of reasonable. Like a little spicy one of Pummel. All right, Sludge Gaming seems good. Fortunately, we don't have an Arsenal set here, but setting an Arsenal isn't super important. Starting the Sage games off with some easy matchups, so that's okay. It's been a while since we played Sage, so like, I don't know. Maybe the old hymns are on some new tech that I'm not aware of. Let me also see if I can do. There's one thing that's been bothering me about the stream. See if I can like reduce. Oh, this might mess everything. Be like that. That does kind of mess things up. Hold on. Let me mess with. All of our Earth being clumped together is like a little bit awkward here, by the way. Okay, seems good. What I have to do is try to shrink this Talus shard just so you can see their stuff a little bit better. Is that better? I don't know if I made that better or worse. Looks like a little bit better. Yeah, no arsenal here. We'll go ahead and just accept our damage. And I'm probably going to be blocking with the Renounce and Thunk here, I imagine. Assuming that they do Fist, which makes a lot of sense. There is also a lot of merit to just like popping your equipment early in this matchup. I'm like halfway tempted to do that. We don't really have like a great use case for it though. Oh. No real reason to do it yet. Like, if they sent like a big attack there, I'd be a lot more incentivized to do it. Or if they like, if we had like an arsenal we wanted to set up or whatever. Send our rock. Have some fun. I feel like Sage is going to be really interesting with the new set, though. Been hearing a lot of really cool things. Like it seems like a lot of the content creator spoilers were like Sage focused, which is kind of cool. All right, use Clash, not the end of the world here. Yeah, we bought some armor, which is also pretty nice. Not too bad here. Macho, A. Kind of fine, just like maybe giving their duty and the arms here. If we lose another Clash in the Arms, it's like kind of fine. Right, Staunch on top, unlucky, but I guess the Arms weren't really doing much this game anyways, so fine. Yeah, we still haven't really found like our great arsenal targets. There's like some also arguments like pitching the Thunk there and not making a Might because we were like pitching it next to the Clash, but I feel like that's super necessary. Oh, yeah, the new lighting set. I've been hearing a lot of people pretty excited about that set. I mean, I'm pretty excited about the set. Seems like they're going to be printing a lot of, or like it seems like they're doing a lot more like Sage support from now on, so that's pretty cool. I feel like kind of indifferent to lightning in general, but I think it's like I know a lot of people do like it, so not gonna rain on anyone's parade or anything. But I think like at least the designs that they've released so far seem like they're a little bit more like pitch oriented as opposed to Redline, which is a little bit more appealing to me. Okay, how do we want to do this? So I think we're probably just pitching the rebound. I'm gonna try to set the staunch here. I guess there's also no real reason to like Arsenal staunch. They're not gonna really do anything against us. I doubt it. But let's kind of just do this. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be making a Might token, but that's not the end of the world. And I kind of just want to like cash in my armor as much as possible here. We're kind of doing fine here though. So the only awkward part about this game is our Earth was pretty stacked, like pretty close together. That's like a little rough, but not too rough. Like we still have a couple Earth cards still left in there. We'll get there eventually. There's staunch. Seems good. Do we have any Earth in the bin yet? We have one Earth card. So I think here I'm just supposed to peek. I also give up the pummel. I think is reasonable. I have a couple options here. I feel like the pummel's really not doing a ton. You could just do like this. Even just give it like I'm almost thinking about like this block. This block crazy. Maybe we don't need to give the vigor token though. Maybe just do something like this. No, actually, we want to root bound, I think. So we do this block, then we root bound. Okay, I think we figured it out. Setting the pummel is kind of reasonable. The only thing oh, sorry, hold on. The only thing I kind of dislike is the Cilia reprint because OG's still in the game and they're too similar. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. There's a lot of like overlapping heroes. I think they expected Acilio to be like gone sooner than he was, maybe, or something like that. Because like you have to like kind of predict, like if you're in the dev pipeline, you have to kind of predict like when certain heroes will LL versus like not LL. It kind of seems like that was maybe a case where they expected Acilio to like LL faster than he did. And then he's kind of like sticking around for a bit, which is kind of awkward. Yeah, I don't think like I think around the time when they were probably designing the set, Acilio was actually like a really cool hero. Like I know a lot of people were pretty hyped about Acilio and like Rosetta. When he was like a lot more inconsistent, right? It seems like they maybe took a lot of that like Rosetta hype and they tried to like kind of predict around it. Oh, they have a pummel as well. Okay, what will I do with it? Should probably nothing. Yeah, I'm not super worried about what is Oldhim typically pummeling. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. They at least have the boulder drop though, which is kind of spicy. Assuming that they don't pummel us like here. They shouldn't probably. So because we know the pummel on top, we're actually winning this Clash of Chess, which might actually ping them for a little bit of extra damage. We should be winning this, I believe. So yeah, we can also give up our civic duty if we want to, but I don't think that's super necessary. So what I don't want to do is give them the civic peak here. That's like the one thing I'm not supposed to do. But yeah, that's a nice little point of damage there. We will take those. I believe the way that Ultim works, we should always be able to get the ability to pummel this, right? Which makes our pummel a little bit better because we get to play it first. So we know their arsenal is something random, and then pummel in hand, 3 other unknown cards. Seems good. But yeah, if they can like time walk them here or like prevent them from swinging sledge, that's going to be pretty big for us. Yeah, I'm curious what set 20 is also going to be. Playing stuff seems cool though. Excited for Ziggy at least. Like I feel like Ziggy mechanically will feel very different. That's kind of neat. All right, let's see what they got here. Any response? No. Okay, that is some pretty good value there. Then, all right, discarding the pummel seems reasonable. And they're probably not swinging sledge here, unless they have like a 3-cost in arsenal, which is also kind of reasonable. I think because they gave us the quicken token, they might just lose the game on the spot. That's unlucky. Yeah. Quicken token is so busted in Guardian Mirrors. I think I'd rather like lose all the block value on my Civic Steps by like getting a clash or whatever than ever give my opponent a quicken token in this matchup. Unless they're like dead next turn, basically. But the nice part is at least they are going to use like the other quicken token, which is kind of reasonable. So alternatively here, we can also just swing Sledge again. Not bad. But Boulder Drop is like 1 more point of damage. Yeah, let's go ahead and just swing it again. I think that's fine. Seems good. No reason to really lose a card in deck for like +1 damage and maybe an on-hit. I guess like the on-hit's like semi-relevant. I don't know. Things to think about. Alright, get a Might token. Good. Alright, this hand's a little awkward. It smells like a pummel. I think we accept if it is a pummel though. So let's go ahead and clash our head and clash our shield. And then try to keep these 2, but if they pummel us, then we just put like Thunderquake on top. Not like the end of the world. Sure. They also did just like discard 1. Like they might not even have the pummel. I guess we're about to find out. Okay, they had a no biggie. I mean, we're still like super far up on life, and like we're only really losing. So let's discard. Which one do we actually want here? I guess let's keep the Clash of Arms maybe. Oh, I guess we get the choice. Interesting. And it doesn't really matter. The fatigue mirror is still very, very strong, David. We're not particularly stressed out here. Like it still feels very, very clean. So they shouldn't. Okay, they. Interesting. I was almost like worried about like a second pummel there, but I guess we don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's go ahead and just clash our arms here. I might just give up the civic duty at this point. We see both pummels, so they can't really do anything funky with it. That seems fine. Yeah, I mean the Terra Ultim mirror still seems like just super overwhelmingly favored. I've yet to like play against an Ultim that's like actually like so apparently I think when we were in San Diego apparently there was like one Ultim game that was like pretty close that I think like John was playing, but like I don't know what they did differently. Like I think they're running like a lot of like the old ones attacks, which are like kind of bad in Ultim. I don't know. Like I feel like against like a normal Ultim build, you're normally not like too stressed. That Canopy Shelter seems good. I'm surprised they didn't Ultim ability that. but I don't think it really like helps them either way. I feel like setting them these staunch when they have a macho coming up though. Should be nice. Hmm. Coming for 7, so option 1 is we can staunch this, but I don't really want to. Generally I like saving macho for like the late game, but I think in this case we're kind of just fine doing this. Seems like the most efficient thing to do. Yeah, just playing wannabe Vault, I imagine. Some of the big heaves can leak damage, yeah. That's like the only way of like I feel like conceptually you can like kind of lose this matchup as Terra is like they're running like just a ton of big attacks that they're able to like play constantly, and you get also like get got by a pummel. I feel like that's like it's like a series of things that have to happen, and even then, like I don't think the ultimate's like favored. It just feels like you have to like build your deck weird, and then you also have to like get very lucky, and then you also have to like do a bunch of other things. So it's kind of funny. The nice part also about running the one pummel is they might be expecting a second one, which you're not running. That'd be the ideal here. All right, how do we want to block this? So I just concuss plus clash of heads. Do this, pitch the turn timber next to the canopy. The anti-dominate boots have not done anything spicy yet, but I think they're mostly like vault attack. But we also just run them into ultim because like civic steps are like abysmally bad in this matchup. Like I almost like never try to block with these until like the very end of the game, and by that point they probably have like 2 counters on them or whatever. Oh, interesting. They have like a heave card in their hand. That's like a little Talshard tell. Is like this card should be Thunderquake, I believe. We don't know that for sure, but like the unflinching footholds are basically like a like just a fail safe in the Guardian Mirror in case they try to go for like a big dominant play. I ran a single pummel at Battlegrounds, and literally everyone played around a second one. That's the best part, right? You run one, and then you don't have to like actually have the cost of playing out the other one, right? You just can kind of bait your opponent that way. Kind of funny. So I think we're at pitch stack. Or I thought I remember pitching a bunch of Earth next together. What do we want to do here? So it's no real. We could just like macho them if we want to, but that's like kind of aggressive. We'll win if we keep sending sludge here. We don't really need to do anything different. Yeah, I'm a big fan of like a 1-up pummel, but this is running 2 just for like I assume just like kind of into most everything you're probably running it. Like anything that's like aggro and then you want to be like a little bit aggro into kind of makes sense. It's also pummel's just also like pretty good if you're just like going second a lot of the time. It's good when you want to be aggressive. Also, it's very funny there. Civic Peak has like 4 counters on it. Never lucky apparently with the Civic Peak. I think we blocked the first one though, so we have like do we have another Clash of Heads in here? So we have, oh no, we used our there too. So they okay. So we've lost 3 of the Clash of Heads, which is kind of funny. Sure. And then let's do. I want to pitch this root bound, but I also don't. We're probably just blocking at the root bound here. There's like a better way to use this. I think I would be more excited about it. We can still at least pitch the thump next to the Clash of Chess, which is kind of funny. For what it's worth, I guess we also probably should decompose that in case they are sitting on another pummel. Oh, we should still be winning from the spot anyway, so it doesn't matter. Sledge for 7 is a hell of a drug. Always gotta love Sledge for 7. Like center this a little bit. Not working. Okay, that's slightly more centered. Nope, it's like a pixel off. Oh, like it wants to like latch onto the side there. All right, that's about as center as it's gonna be. Still 1 pixel off, probably. I wish there's like a way to like arrow it over in OBS or something. Maybe there is. I'm just dumb. All right, so what do we want to do here? So we got the we can just view. Seems fine. Would have liked to have like one more Earth so we can like double get the might token, which is pretty sick. We should be doing like perfectly fine here. How many unmovables have they? Or they've used 2 staunch. Pretty much out of their big reacts unless they're running like some more copies of staunch. Terra needs a shirt that says fist for 4, sledge for 7. I was thinking about like a Terra 6-7 sticker or something like that because you do like sledge for 6, sledge for 7. I feel like that's also an option. But yeah, sledge for 7's always nice. It's kind of nice just being able to play a deck where you can like mostly turn your brain off and then just send sledge for 7. So this is the point in the game where they should start trying to hopefully leak damage. So basically, the math works out like if they want to keep Earth reacting, they should be taking like 2 damage every time because they're blocking with like a 3 block and then Earth react. It's normally how it should go. And we can go ahead and just block with these 2, seems fine. Might even win this Clash of Shields depending on how our pitch stack is. Nice, 1 by 1. Let's go. Easy W. And we're also safe from their Macho, which it doesn't look like they've actually played any Machos so far. I don't even know if they're going to be able to hold cards to Macho at this point anymore. Yeah, it seems like they're maybe off of it. Oh yeah, they still have that Thunderquake there, which is pretty good as well. But yeah, the rest of their deck, I don't think they can win from this spot just because we have like the Staunch and our card density is very, very high. But yeah, I think this matchup is like largely unwinnable for Ultim, which is great because it means it's very winnable for us. Ooh, let's see if we can play against a Valda. So I know Matt was actually running Sledge in this matchup, which is kind of interesting. So normally how I'd board into Valda is like kind of something like this, like cut the Bastion, maybe cut like a Fyendal, and kind of do something like this. Maybe even cut 2 Fyendals. Because usually having the pummels is really nice for like their Civic Peak turns. And what else do we want to cut here? I got like the 1-up Evergreen. I don't think it's like super important. Try to cut the 1-up Evergreen, I think. Yeah, I normally run Titan's Fist in this matchup, which is kind of interesting, but we're going to go ahead and run Sledge because I saw him playing Sledge. That'll be interesting. Oh, did the PT start streaming? Nice. Is it the top 8? Let me actually go check that out. Let's see what they got over here. Oh, it's day 2. Yeah, sorry. They still got some time. Oh, is it like hybrid? It's like a hybrid between Sage and... Oh, interesting. It's like Sage and CC. Very cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and clash our chest. We might end up losing this, but if we win it, it's pretty good. Yeah, the free clash value is always nice. Okay, they're also on Millers, which is kind of interesting. And what did we win with? We won with a boulder drop. Be good. Flying high is also very spicy here. So I could make them scared of like a pummel. We want to go for the boulder drop, which I think we're probably supposed to do. It means they're like less incentivized to want to try Civic Peak us. But yeah, kind of curious what's going on over at the PT. Might be a little bit of a short stream today, but we'll just get some fun games. I know a lot of people like just watching the PT instead, but I know a lot of people also watching like the stream VODs and stuff. So we're streaming, but we're not like I'm not trying to like compete with like the Flesh and Blood TCG account or whatever. Okay, seems good. So they are gonna set that up. Crystal Turn Timber. So we're pretty scared of pummel, I'd say, in this spot. Or we're scared of a pummel from them, rather. Could also just leak a lot of damage, though, and try to go for, like, a big finals. That's, like, also semi-reasonable. Kind of why I'm not, like, a big fan of Turn Timber sometimes over, like, the blue staunches, just because, like, Turn Timber is very conditional. It's really good, like, if you can, like, second cycle it, but sometimes it's a little inconsistent in the first cycle. Okay, interesting. Going for the boulder drop here as well. This to me signals that they want to try to pummel from hand, but they don't have like the full resources to do so. So let's go ahead and try to like full block this basically. They do here, here, here. And then if they do go for that, then we can just go ahead and pummel it. Or then we can turn timber to block the pummel. Still a bit awkward though. Like I'm not super in love with this, but it seems fine. Also using the armor is like pretty good early. For what it's worth, this is now also stuck in their arsenal, which is kind of awkward for them. Also saw the Earthlore on top of their deck, so you know it's that on-turn, off-turn package. Yeah, that's true. My understanding from a friend is that basically it's free for them because they really only send weapon once or twice. That makes sense, actually. Was Enki also running Miller's Grindstone? I wasn't actually paying attention to the Shanghai top 8. Seems pretty good, though. Like, yeah, you're like most of Valda's deck is not based around swinging weapons, so like if you do swing it 1 or 2 times, it seems like pretty reasonable. I also am like not a huge fan of Sludge in this matchup, but we're playing it because Matt Clark was playing it, so I wanted to give it a shot. I think they're like pretty close, but I do generally value the armor, I feel like. Can we bait them into... This is kind of interesting. So this cannot be another pummel. I think we're doing something like this and then just sending Sludge. We do have to be careful with our Civic Peak, though. Can't even just throw the Civic Peak here and just hope they don't have the pummel. It's like semi-reasonable. No, let's save Civic Peak for, I think, a better time, I think. Do something like this. I just don't want to, like, have them RNG draw into, like, a red pummel and then we, like, lose the game on the spot. Feels like a quick way to lose. Yeah, we have the pummel at least lined up for their Civic Peak turn, which is kind of nice. And they also kind of stranded the smelting in their arsenal, which is very good. Because it means it's probably going to be pretty hard for them to like set the seismics unless they have like a Valhai Raven or something. Or Valhai Riven. How do you say that card? Valhai Riven? Yeah, Valhai Riven. What is a Riven? Does anyone in chat know what a Riven is? It's like a little like fountain or something. So we can actually cash in the fruits value if we want here. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, let's go ahead and just play the fruits. It's fine. I feel like pummeling this is not like the most high amount of value or whatever. And so this is maybe signaling a pummel. Oh, interesting. Let's block like this, and if they do go for a pummel, then we're just going to turn timber this. Okay, so they do go for it, which means we can just do this. He's fine. So we leak 3, but like not the end of the world. So this should hopefully be an off turn for them, assuming they're not going to go for much. All right, promising is a pretty decent way to set up, though. So the question is, are they going to get any more seismics here? I guess they could also just like keep something. It's probably like the most logical play. Let's go ahead and see if we can pummel this Thunderquake, though. Some good damage here. At least we'll hopefully like keep them off having like a huge pummel turn or something. Google says it's a verb to describe splitting apart. I guess also a sequel to Misfail or something. I guess so. Oh, a sequel to Mist? Or is that like a TV series or something? Interesting. Just like a crag or like a cavern or something. Or a canyon. Could be interesting. Okay. Looks like they maybe scooped out. Oh, they're on Slogism. Oh, wait. Why did they Arsenal this? Okay. Maybe they thought they could block from Arsenal. That is also unlucky. Okay. You want to try another Briar? Sure. Okay, maybe not. We'll get a couple more games. Again, I'm not gonna probably stream for like too long, just because I know the calling stuff's going on right now. But we'll at least get a couple of games on Terra and just kind of see how it goes. All right, we got the Briar. Sure. Let's go second. Let's run our Fire Mind, and then do we want anything else against Briar? Yes, the Staunches probably. I prefer Staunch over the Findalls just because the 2-block can be a bit awkward sometimes. I also keep like 1 and cut a Bastion. Don't hate that. Or maybe run like 1 Pummel, I think is also reasonable. Yeah, let's just run like 1 Findalls. I don't feel like you'd really need a Pummel Briar all that often. Alright, what kind of Briar do we... yes, so this looks like the more aggro style Briar. Interesting they're running Flash of Brilliance. Okay. Very spicy. I think I'm going to try to cash in this Fruits value because we want them to attack into us. If they don't, then we're also fine with that. Like, I actively want them to try to push damage here, so, like, we should basically be doing this always. Because the faster we get them to push us, the faster we get them to, like, fatigue or whatever. So we can go ahead and slop it up here. Seems good. See what the follow-up is. Static Shock. So if they have Lightning Press, it's annoying, but I guess they're not really, like, doing much with it, and we can always pay to the AB. If they don't want to press this, I think I'm fine with that. There's a reason to give them, like, an extra card there, I feel like. Alright, so what do we got here? So this is probably... Which one's more annoying between Renounce and Boulder? It's probably Boulder, right? Go and do that, and like we'll pitch the Renounce so we can set up Concuss next turn. I kind of love this deck because it feels like it's like kind of playing stacks. Just in general, like we're kind of running like the Humbles earlier to kind of like do like a little bit of a stacks game plan, but this is even like kind of harder on like the kind of like force you to block it kind of stuff. But it seems like they're just gonna want to try to leak damage just so they're kind of like ahead on life, which I think makes sense. But we should be making it very hard for them to like push anything here. Okay, this is gonna be their big turn, looks like. Or maybe they missequence something. Sting. All right, we got seeds. Sure. So we can go ahead and actually just set up like a 2nd Might token here, which should be relatively annoying. And then I think we're just gonna try to go for a root bound on this, assuming that they try to go for something or like not going for anything. What does that mean? Guess we'll find out. They just like didn't want to send damage. Interesting. I mean, we're gonna probably punish them for that with the concuss here. Like we're basically just like stripping a card out of their hand every turn while like also leaking a ton of damage, so they're never gonna be able to like push a 5-card hand. Seems pretty good. And we're also just chilling at 20 still. So actually, it's very funny. I think originally, like Jacob, was kind of telling me. So Jacob was one of the Terras who was in calling San Diego, and he's telling me that like his team was testing concuss, and I think it's like pretty reasonable actually. I feel like I was off of it because like sometimes you don't get like the concuss value, but like it still seems like pretty reasonable. All right, what to do here? So we probably want to play the Renounce next turn. Let's go ahead and just block like a little bit of damage. Seems fine. I can afford to leak a little bit here. They'll get their embodiment, but not the end of the world. And we can just root bound this. We also can like hold the root bound if we want to leak like a little bit. Kind of fine with that. But the rounds should be pretty annoying here. And we're basically getting them into Titan's Fist range at this point, and we've also not used like any of our armor. So yeah, it seems like they're maybe just in a pretty rough spot there. I'm gonna take a look at their deck because they might have actually been running like, okay, this seems actually kind of like the Briar. So I think there's like a Briar in top 8, right? Hold on. Let me see if I can find this version of Briar. Where is it? It says Evan Herndon. Where is this? Is calling Shanghai. I think it's this Briar. Oh yeah, it's Chrissy Ollie's Briar. Okay, interesting. So this is not the exact same one we saw. Oh, Yellow Sigil is Suffering. Interesting. Wait, what are they running? They're running one harness? Do they have a second harness somewhere I missed? Seems like it's pretty similar to Chrissy Ollie's version, maybe just like down on a harness. And then what? Oh no, so sorry, they are also running one harness. So this is actually just like the exact same list with Swift Strike, Bracers, and Flash of Brilliance. Interesting. What is Flash of Brilliance? So it's with this card, right? When it enters or leaves the arena, deal 1 arcane damage target hero at the beginning of reaction phase, destroy this. So you get this, you bounce it back to hand, you discard lightning card, return or you control to its owner's hand. So you can like trigger this, which is kind of interesting. Seems pretty cool. Yeah, the big disruption Terra is doing pretty well. Like I feel like I don't really have many notes on this deck other than I want like a little bit of a better plan into Briar. We'll do a couple more games. I think this list is like very well refined. So I don't really have a ton of notes. Like one thing I would maybe look at is like cutting the sits just in case there's not like a ton of KO. All right, well, we can play into another Briar. That seems fine. So let's go and do that. We want our enclosed Fire Mind. Okay, they can scoop. That also makes sense. Unless they're rejoining very quickly. I think I did like this last time. Okay. We'll see who wants to play. Again, Stage is kind of like a weird format right now. But I think that the next set is going to actually add a lot of cool Sage cards, hopefully. We got the Mirror. All right, we win the Mirror because we're going first. So let's bring in that. Foothold. Staunches. One Pummel just for good luck. And we can cut the Findals and maybe like one Bastion. Seems reasonable. We can also cut like a Concuss for that. That seems fine. Concuss is like pretty mid. Yeah, let's just run it like this. And then we don't really have a super. Oh, they're not even on like an actual version of Terra. They're on like a meme version. Sure. So this is, what does this even look like? Oh, This looks like starter deck Terra or something. Interesting. I'm very curious. There's a lot of interesting things going on. First, the Iron Rot legs over obviously like Foothold seems low hanging, but they might be on like doubling season or something. That'd be kind of funny. Is this doubling season? This might actually be doubling season or something. I want to stick around and figure out what this is. But whatever it is, it's very strange. Maybe they're doing like some decompose stuff. Oh, it is like doubling season, I think. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's like kind of fine. You know, go ahead and just like cash in my block. If we lose the clash, not the end of the world. Okay, me time. They're playing like a very spicy build over there. Love it. Lead with power is a pretty good one. Like it kind of fits your like sledge curve pretty well. If you have like 2 blues. This hand does not spark a lot of joy. But we can like take an off turn here. The only like it is really bad to like not swing sledge in this matchup though. But they're not even really like playing like a normal version of Terra, so it should be fine. I'm gonna give them the civic duty though. I think we'll just set the staunch and just take like a little bit of an off turn here. Like we are kind of still fatiguing them. It's just we kind of gotta like live through their damage mostly. Alright, we can just comfortably block this. I don't think they're gonna go for anything here, but if they do, then we're kind of safe. Sapwood Elixir. Alright, they're cooking something here. This is kind of crazy. So I think they are doing some like doubling season thing. I just don't know what the doubling season thing, because I think I tried to do this at one point, but like it was just like not very good. Interesting. Okay, there's their elixir. They have to be on doubling season or something. Like my only explanation for this. Yeah, this is like some very large brain Terra. Honestly seems like a maybe safe opportunity to give them the Civic Peak, unless like that card specifically is pummel. This is maybe too big brain for me. Yeah, I don't really know what they're doing. Lead with Heart is like actually a good card though. Unironically, I think that card's like kind of solid. And then I guess we can just launch. Not gonna full pay though. God, if Turn Timber was also an Earth card in and of itself, that card would be kind of nutty. Kind of feels like it should be, but it probably is for the best that you don't have Earth React, unlike Rootbound, I guess. Okay, so are they on doubling season? Hold on, that's the question I'm really trying to figure out. They board out the doubling season? Huh. Are they just running every Earth card in the game? Interesting. Many questions I have, but I don't think we're going to get answers to them. But this is definitely a pile of cards that you can definitely put together. Okay. Well, I feel like we learned something there. All right, I'm gonna get like 2 more games, and then I'm probably gonna go ahead and make dinner. Do a little bit of a short stream today. Okay, so this is actually kind of a problematic matchup, or like it's more problematic now because we're only running AB1. Back in the like with AB3, it used to be like very free, but now it might not be as free, which is like a little bit scary. Let's go ahead and run the AB1 sledge and see how it goes. I kind of expect to lose this matchup, most likely, but we'll go ahead and see here. So at least we have the finals. Yeah, I believe we should be losing this, assuming that the Icelander deck is probably built correctly. I feel like basically what we're doing with this deck is like kind of just like hedging that we're not going to pair into like Kano is like kind of unwinnable anyways, but like kind of betting that you're not going to pair into Icelander because like otherwise it's pretty bad. So they do have the foothold, so like the macho's not even good. Kind of annoying. I'm gonna play a finals from hand. So we like keep the one in arsenal. Yeah, the wizard attacks for Kanos are pretty real. Like, so originally in my old list, I think I was running AB3. So if like you look at this list, I am on AB3, and Icelander with AB3 is like very, very free. It feels like. Um, so like if you're expecting more Icelander, like that's like a pretty easy sideboard, but like it really doesn't help in the Kano unless like the Kano's like pretty bad. So like it kind of makes sense to cut and just like bet you're not gonna pair until like Icelander. Like Icelander is like pretty low representation generally. But Kano is like a lot higher representation. Like that's a little bit more scary. But even with AB3 and like a bunch of tech, it still really doesn't help a ton. So we're going AB1 and then Frostbite, sure. Yeah, we're probably cooked this game, but we'll play it out. Yeah, unfortunately, like this is just like if we had the AB3, this matchup would be like pretty free, I think. Not the end of the world. What do they have here? There it is. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can maybe potentially match them next. Seems like they're also like very arcane focused. So let's keep pitching. Oh, we might even just be dead this turn. Funny thing is they also have the foothold. So I don't even think like with this it's like that bad. So like David, I think that works. So I think it works against like bad Kanos. Like if you're playing like Talishar Kanos, I think it's probably like 40-60. But if you're playing against like Kanos at like a calling, I think it's like a lot worse than like 40-60, even with like AB3 and like one polarity. Like it seems like it's probably closer to like I don't know, like maybe like 30-70 or something, or like 20-80. Like so I played like twice against like Jacob Clements in Calling San Diego and also just like a side event. And both times basically like he hit like red emeritus. Also I think we could have lived there, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But basically like I played against Jacob Clements like twice. He was on Kano, I was on Terra, and I had like double polarity. I had a slap happy, I had a steadfast, and then I had AB3 and then a bunch of blues, and like even that, like he basically got me both times just by hitting like a red emeritus off the top on turn one. So like I feel like even with a bunch of tech, it's still not like super favored. Like it's like kind of close, but like you still just like lose to like unflinching or not unflinching foothold, but like the other pen version of this, like the gauntlet that like blocks 3. Like Kano is just like so tanky right now. And he also just has like a ton of damage, so I don't know. It still like feels like pretty bad, I guess is what I would say. But yeah, that's like at least a good thing to note is that this deck basically like kind of sacks the Icelander matchup, which I think is fair. But we'll see if we can get a couple more games. Actually, I think I said I was gonna get 2 more games. This might be the last one. Let's try to get one more good one for the road, I think. And then we'll go make dinner and then have Wilson have a little happy birthday. Where is Wilson right now?
I don't know. Oh, he's over there.
You grab him?
Uh,
Oh, after your Call of Duty lobby?
yeah, calling up. I'll grab him for you in a sec.
Okay. We gotta celebrate Wilson's birthday. It's important. Yeah, the top end, that's fair. I've beaten a couple Kanos at like callings and battlegrounds. It's one of the questions if you just give up the matchup for Wizard. So like I think it depends on the like a lot of this depends on like the popularity of Kano. Like if scrubs are playing Kano, then I think it makes a lot more sense to run AB. But if only like the best of the best Kanos are playing Kano, then it's like a bit worse because you're only going to be pairing into Kanos at like the top tables or whatever, and that's like a lot more annoying. But let's go ahead and run it again. Keep the same Briar matchup. So it looks like this is probably the Crystal Briar. Pretty close. Get some practice into this. Again, we haven't really played any like super challenging matchups. I think like Balda is probably like the matchup I'm like most concerned about with this list. This should be a pretty clean block. So let's hold on to the Disable since it's like mildly disruptive. They end up going for like a Lightning Press or whatever here. I'm kind of fine with that. All right, what we got? So we can send Disable Arsenal Rootbound. That seems fine. But yeah, I think like basically it depends on like the popularity of Kano. If you think that there are a lot of Kanos who like can't pitch stack and like can't do like all the fun Kano stuff, then I think it makes a lot more sense to run like AV3. But if you're only expecting like super good Kanos in small numbers, then it makes like a lot less sense. Oh, like it's kind of funny how I feel like Sage is not really like mechanically a very interesting format, but like meta wise, it's like the deck building is actually a lot more interesting. I feel like for Sage than like the what do you call it? Than just like the like gameplay of it, if that makes sense. Like it feels like a lot of the games are kind of like one in deck building versus like kind of in the actual like game itself. Looks like Talshar also might be crapping out right now. See if anyone's reporting something similar. Take a look. Talshar, general. Might be struggling here. Give it one more refresh for good luck. Alright, let's give it like a minute and see if it comes back, but people started saying we're cooked in chat, then okay, so mobile bug reports. Kind of seeing if there's anyone complaining yet. Oh, one more time. All right, let me see if like the actual like Talshar website, that this is also like a pretty good indication. Okay, no, it's still live apparently. Let's go back to the game. Okay, cool. We'll play it out. Might just been a little bit of momentary lag there. See if I can hit them with the refresh the page. Oh boy. Nope, are we back? Oh no. Uh-oh. Unlucky. Well, let's see if anyone saying anything. Server down? Yeah, okay. Alright, Talshar might be having some trouble right now, so let's see if we can finish this one, but if not, then I think we're probably gonna call it there for today. So short stream today, but that's okay. Nice to have some shorter streams every now and again. I guess it is Sage, so like doing Sage for multiple hours is kind of whatever. We'll see if we can get Wilson on cam. All right, I'm gonna say Talshar is probably cooked there. All right, so anyways, let's go back to Matt's deck because I want to talk about it a little bit more. So this is again Matt's deck. Again, I think his matchup spread was really good for like what he brought, which is kind of cool. So really only dropping gains to Kano, which you should lose on this deck. Valda, which is like I think pretty 50-50, but you can make it a little bit more favorable. Like I think this deck is not particularly tech for Valda, is what I would say. And then losing one to Ira, which I think is like sometimes reasonable. Iras draw hot, you draw like bad, then it can be a little bit rough. But overall, I think a really solid list. Like I probably play nearly the exact same list as this. Maybe like subbing the Turn Timbers for like Blue Staunches is like my only minor like criticism. But like even then, I think like the Turn Timbers are still like reasonable. But yeah, I think this deck is like pretty solid. No super big notes. I think it's like pretty well put together. And yeah, I think it's like I think at least a lot of the blue base and like the ratios are kind of taken from like a lot of my kind of like past lists, which is kind of cool as well. So it's still cool to like see that people are playing Terra, and let me actually go to the right screen there. But yeah, still cool to see like people playing Terra. I know a lot of people actually like end up liking this deck, which is pretty cool. And seeing the innovations is also like pretty nice. Like I think unflinching is definitely pretty solid, and then like the sits and the turn timbers and stuff are pretty solid as well. All right, we got Wilson. So it's Wilson's birthday today, so we gotta celebrate. So happy birthday, Wilson! Happy birthday, Wilson! Everyone say happy birthday to Wilson. He's here. All right, but we're gonna go celebrate Wilson's birthday by giving him some treats and some toys and stuff. But yeah, with that, that was Matt's list, and I think it's pretty solid. We'll probably play it again at some point, or play like a little bit of a variant of it. But I think this is probably like what I would take to like a Sage event. Anyways, thank you all for stopping by. Again, Noah's a short stream with the Pro Quest or the Pro Tour Yokohama going on. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll probably come back on Monday, play like something else, maybe some Marlin or whatever. But yeah, we'll see y'all next time. So take care. Happy birthday, Wilson.